still here. Well, I was busy with many things, and I actually recorded a cover, which you probably saw. Well, I just had my birthday 2 days ago, and well, it was a sweet day, full of good wishes and kind words, and I really appreciate each and everyone's effort to make me happy. And I always contemplate about the previous birthdays and just life in general. Well, I usually do that all the time, but maybe on birthdays you look at your life at some special angles. I mentioned it on my Instagram that I read Al Pacino's biography, and those who know me know that I love Al Pacino. And I was really impressed and heartwarmed because this is his autobio, and of course editors helped him, and well, many people worked on it, but these are his ideas, his words, his vision, and his history. So I appreciated the honesty and the parts which he probably could skip, but he didn't. And I think it's a great example of how life could turn into places that you don't expect, and how just random people that are not in the end so random can help you in your standing as a man, as an artist. And he talked about many things, and he was very delicate about delicate stuff. And for instance, he was very honest about the fact that some directors, for example, found him hard to work with, which meant that he didn't claim some trailers or, I don't know, eternal food service, something like that. He just wanted some clarity with a scenario, for example, or if the scenario said that you have to have this certain scenes, he just insisted on the fact that they need to be in the movie, even if it's expensive and hard to accomplish. And that's why some of the directors found him hard to work with. But he said that it's either that or just the movie would be a failure, and he would feel as a failure as an actor. And I really understand him, and I think it's great that he still did things his way, the way he saw it. But it doesn't mean that he didn't have failures. It just means that he is a human, but he is a great artist that stood on his ground. He's had some very sad moments, of course, in his bio, and very funny moments. And I didn't know that story before, but there are actually footages of him talking about that on different shows. And so there is a story when he made, I told some people, I don't know, they watched this. There was a very fun moment in the book, and I laughed out loud, literally, because it was hilarious. So when Al Pacino was making The Godfather, he went to Sicily, and it was actually for the first time he visited Italy. And there was this scene, I think many people remember, where he has this wedding with Italian girl, and so Francis Ford Coppola told him, Al, so you need to do 3 things in this scene. You need to talk to people in Italian, and then you need to waltz with your bride, and then you two together need to walk out, turn to your car and drive away. And so Francis says to Al Pacino, well, talk to your guests, turn and talk to your guests. And Al Pacino says, well, Francis, I actually can't speak Italian. So Francis Ford Coppola says, okay, whatever, just say something. We'll just have some footages from your bag and you'll just murmur something and people won't see the difference if you speak Italian or not. So they do that, and then Francis says, well, just go and dance with your bride, waltz with your bride. Al Pacino says this time also, well, you see, Francis, I can't waltz. So Francis Coppola becomes angrier this time, and he says, okay, whatever, just turn around, dance, however, we'll just take this scene. And so Al Pacino does that also, and then so the third time Francis tells him, so okay, go and drive. And I laughed out loud because, well, this time also Al Pacino says, Francis, the thing is I can't drive. And well, there was one angry director at the time, and so Pacino describes it like that. So Francis Ford Coppola says, what can you do? Why did I take you? Why? And then in the end, so Pacino just went to the car and they drove like 3 or 4 miles, he said, and that is in the movie, but it actually, everything looks pretty well and you can't really see the difference unless you know the story. But he says that he got his driver's license 2 years later when the second part came out. And also in the book you can find, especially probably in the second part of the book, you can find some of his struggles as an artist, some stops in his career, hiatuses, and well, he talked even about his money problems when he was already in his 60s and 70s even. And probably some of the roles that you see that in the movies that are not so good, he took it because he just needed money, but he is very open about it. And well, it just gives you this understanding and probably hope as an artist that it's not like this straight line as in your career that you just probably become this worldwide known successful actor, the best actor of all the times, and you just, and from then on, you just don't have any problems. You just, live your life happily ever after. But it's not like that. And yes, all the careers have their twists and turns. And also, well, before becoming this, what many people I think know, that before becoming an actor in the movies, he was an actor in the theater, and it was so maybe long years of non-success, and just a particular group of people knew him. But of course everything happened after the Godfather movie came out. So yeah, it's but I also really appreciated the fact that he mentioned literature as a wide part of him as a human, as an artist. So I didn't know the fact that classical works influenced him so much in his teen years. So he even read Chekhov, and Chekhov is one of my favorites writers also. So Pacino even named one of his sons Anton. And yeah, it's just you see that this man has the deep understanding of life, and he just is this observer of life. And it happens very often when you just dwell into the literature and the classical books, and you are a bookworm. Not always, but that's just what I see, and I know even from myself. And also I was thinking about, even before reading this book, so it was like in the middle of June, and I read it in several hours, well 4 or 5, but it was with stops, and I'm not, I don't try to be a fast reader, although I know all these techniques of fast reading and I know the tricks, but it's just not my thing. And I can do that with some, I don't know, psychology books sometimes, not all of them, some self-help books, just to look it through, because I don't have, well, it's written in the plain language, for example, but you just need to see some info. But when it comes, especially with classical books and the books that I really want to dwell into, I take my time, and also when I enjoy the book, I will take my time and read it very profoundly, stop and think, contemplate. I don't take notes, but sometimes I just, maybe if I like it very much, I just write down some citations, whatever, and yeah. So I take my time, and I usually enjoy the book even more when I read it in my own pace. And so I was thinking about the struggles of artists in general. So what does it take to become this popular human being that everyone admires? But before that, you have to, every person has their own struggles, but in the life of the artist, it's like this constant choice between the fact that probably you need to provide, yes, to your family, you need to go to basic job, yes, or just average job, and there's always this balance between what you actually want to do and what you need to do in order to sometimes survive, and how much the world itself influences the artist. So it gives you this tool to write things, to act, yes, to record music, for example. It gives you these ideas, although they're usually sad, especially as even now we see that the world is too much, and they talk about it often. But yeah, it was maybe always like that. So every generation had their own problems, their own share of tragedies and misfortunes, but yeah, it's the way how you deal with it and how you balance this artistry of yours and life, because you want to still live an average life, yes, have your happiness, yes, because basically we all dream about the same things in this way or another. But it's I think most of artists would agree with me when I say that it's very hard to just believe probably in yourself when you had already many failures before. Maybe you don't even see them as failures, but probably you don't succeed in the way you hoped, and or you succeed in your own eyes, but people just don't see it because, well, where are the results, or sometimes where is the money? Yes, and stuff like that. So yeah, and probably the more you read such bios and the more you look back in the history, you see that yes, many artists that we admire, and maybe not admire that much, they still went through a lot of things, and they just probably what separates them from others, why they just they took the chances. They had these people that they call angels that were just in the right place in the right time, but they also worked hard and never gave up, and even if they did, they just came back stronger. And so yeah, probably it's my wish to every artist in whatever they would like to accomplish, and to myself also, that you just need to continue and do all the things you can do before what you see as a success comes to you, because we all see it in a different way.